Can you describe and break down for us how addiction works in the brain?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so with addiction, part of what makes human beings similar to these animals is that we have these like evolutionarily conserved circuits, meaning that you see the same sort of reward pathways or similar reward pathways in a rodent all the way up to a human being. If you found very sweet berries and you ate those berries, they tasted good, the dopamine release and the activation of this reward pathway would instill like a new memory of when I find this bush, I need to eat these berries because it's good for my survival.
Okay.
Now that brain that we have was never prepared for exposure to something as stimulating as drugs of abuse.
Yeah.
So these drugs, through different pathways, ultimately act on this mesolimbic reward pathway.
What brought you to study alternative therapeutics within the context of all of this? And what promises do they hold that differ from traditional approaches?
Psychedelics are able to provide a rapid-acting and long-lasting shift for people. And what that amounts to, at least in clinical trials, we're seeing improvements in symptoms for a variety of different psychiatric disorders. And so I think, for me, it was like I was so interested in if there was a way to get to the root of trauma and stop it before it festers and becomes something else. That was what I was really interested in. That was how I saw a way to be able to help more people than I ever could one-on-one. And psychedelics at this point seem to offer the most hope for doing so.
So I'm curious, there's probably a lot of skepticism just from preconceptions and the war on drugs and all of this. How do you approach that in your field? And is that something that you have to encounter?
Definitely fighting somewhat of an uphill battle, and that there's a lot of stigma with psychedelics. One concern is that there's a lot of people who sort of have drank the Kool-Aid and believe that this is a sort of panacea for treating everything that you can think of, and I think that offers some problems for people in other fields, and it's really important for researchers like myself to remain skeptical and objective about this.
Of course, yeah. Devin, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you.